Welcome to the Skill and Ideas Podcast by Izodua Asemota.
Welcome to today's podcast. Today we'll be talking about the depth of connection. There's a powerful truth about human connections or relationships that many people discover only through experience. People can only meet you as deeply as they have met themselves. At first, this idea can be very confusing. We often expect others to understand us completely, our dreams, our struggles, our fears, and our growth. But the reality is simpler and more profound. The depth of a relationship is limited by the depth of self-awareness on both sides. People can only give what they have and also what they have developed within themselves. And this insight changes how we understand friendships, leadership, business, partnerships, and even family relationships. Have you ever had a big idea or a personal struggle and felt misunderstood? Maybe you spoke about a vision for the future, a difficult decision, personal growth, a new direction in life, and the response was shallow, like you're overthinking. Just be realistic. Why complicate things? You're doing too much. Why would you think like that? Often this is not rejection. It is a limitation of depth. Someone who has never examined their own life deeply enough may struggle to understand someone who does. Someone who avoids reflection may struggle to connect with someone who values growth. It is not always lack of care. Sometimes it is lack of inner work. People who have done inner work tend to listen more carefully, ask, deeper questions, show more empathy, understand complexity, accept growth and change. Because they have explored their own fears, ambitions, and struggles, they recognize those same things in other people. Self-awareness creates emotional vocabulary, and emotional vocabulary creates connection. Without self-awareness, conversations stay on the surface. This principle is just as true in business as it is in personal life. Leaders who lack self-awareness struggle to understand employees, build trust, handle feedback, manage conflicts, or even inspire their teams. They interpret disagreements as disrespect. They interpret feedback as attack. I think you may know one or two about that. They interpret innovation as threat. But leaders who understand themselves better can understand others better. They recognize that different personalities tend to bring strength. Feedback would only improve your performance. They understand that change is always necessary and that growth requires discomfort. Great leadership starts with self-leadership. That part where you get to lead yourself and tell yourself, I'm going to do this, and then you don't do it. I think I got you there.
Raise your hands up.
Okay. So organizations often rise to the level of awareness of their leaders. Understanding this idea changes how we approach relationships, even in our personal lives. We stop expecting depth from people who live on the surface. Not everyone is ready for deep conversations about purpose, growth, or meaning. And that is okay. Expectation without alignment often creates frustration. The second thing that is very important as to this perspective in our personal lives is that we'll be able to choose relationships where growth is possible. The best relationships are those where both people are growing, where curiosity is mutual, where reflection is welcome, that part where honesty is a safe place. This also means that depth would always thrive where growth is shared. And this brings me to the part where we get to actually work on ourselves. So if you want deeper relationships, deepen your own understanding, reflect, learn, grow, examine your beliefs, develop emotional maturity. The deeper you understand yourself, the deeper you can connect with other people. One of the most freeing realization is this: not everyone is supposed to understand you. Some people will support you practically. Some will support you emotionally. Some will support you intellectually. Some will only work with you for a reason. Different levels of self-awareness creates different levels of connection, and that is part of life. Understanding this reduces unnecessary frustration. Instead of asking, why don't they understand me? You begin to ask, what level of depth is possible here within the confines of this relationship? So this idea is not just about understanding others, it's also about examining ourselves. Are there areas where we cannot meet others deeply? Do we dismiss experiences we have never had? Do we avoid uncomfortable conversations? And this used to happen to me a lot. Do we resist, perspectives that challenge us, and then we start feeling attacked? Do we judge what we do not understand? Growth means increasing our own depths, because the deeper we go within ourselves, the deeper we can go with others. People can only meet you as deeply as they have met themselves. Some relationships will stay at the level of conversation, some will reach the level of understanding, and a few would reach the level of true, pure connection. The goal is not to force depth where it cannot exist. The goal is to become a deeper person, because the deeper you grow, the richer your connections become. See you in the next podcast.